Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still in the middle of a diplomatic play to annex Assam. This is going to be reasonably quick. Then we're going to grab Rewa, and then we're going to grab Garhwal, and then we're going to be good to go. We're going to have fully consolidated. And then maybe, you know, we'll take Burma as a treat. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hey, there's Home Affairs up to 5. Wonderful. In the meantime, we're just building a ton of power block statues. Cool. So that'll probably mean a new neighbors event before too long. I gotta say, standard of living is rock solid. GDP is going up. And we've hit the #1 spot for global prestige. Investment in high yield. Oh yeah, this was something I was thinking about. Got a labor rebellion. Yeah, okay, sure. That's something I'll work on. Let me see. How's the power block doing? Power block's doing pretty good. It's going to be quite a few years before we get a ourselves a new a new mandate. But you know, we'll get there. How is Dynam's process of enacting? Wait, no, they're not the ones we made. Change their system. Who did we have? Burma's already in. I'm pretty sure it was Dynam. Ah. Okay, they've I think they may have said they'll do it. And we'll see how things go from there. So that is what it is. Radical revolt in Kutai. So, Kutai. Oh, you got Britain on one side. Well, it is what it is. Philippines wants more autonomy? No. No thank you. Yeah, they sure want to be independent now, because now I've been annexing, which is fine. You can want to be independent as much as you like. You won't be. Alright, so now that that diplomatic play is done, should be able to grab Garhwal. 7.4 infamy to grab Garhwal. 8.5 to grab Rewa. You know, it's a drag, but it is what it is. Alright, I can grab both. Excellent. So, we'll pull one... Hey! There's compulsory primary school. Excellent. One force off over here. One force off over here. We'll throw in a Conquest CB for Rewa, for much less infamy, which is exactly what I wanted. Then we'll get started increasing education investment. Bureaucracy's holding well. Somali mass immigration, excellent. And literacy is going up, which is excellent. And that's going to continue to increase, I'm hoping. How goes the war in Assam? War in Assam is going rock solid. How many maneuvers have I got? I've got a lot more maneuvers this time because I'm the boss of all the world. So I highest ranked great power is what I mean by that. So hopefully. So potentially, if I can annex Shan, if I can put an annex CB on Shan, Burma will step in, and then I can use Conquest CBs to grab all these other areas with a super duper low infamy cost, and that's going to be ideal. I'm kind of in a rush because we're closing in on the end of the game, but getting the princely states fully annexed was one of my big goals. So with that being functionally done, I'm feeling pretty excited. Great Britain's still holding part of Eastern Himalayas. I suppose I could just start stealing states off of Great Britain with no problem. Still got pretty high cash reserves. Investment pool is going up. So maybe it's time to increase the size of the construction sectors further. Now that Assam is fully integrated, getting at least up to 200, I think, is the most sensible way to do things. Let's throw these in at the top so that they'll get done fast. Now, Assam probably needs to have its production methods standardized. Yep, sure does. Opium addiction. We've seen this event before, we'll see it again. Moro people are experiencing severe effects of opium addiction. The use and abuse of the substance has spread throughout Bombay. Perhaps you can treat this as a medical matter. I just dropped standard of living by 1 for that population. It's not so bad. A famous cafe. After a chance meeting in a cafe and a thoughtful conversation, Mulam Kesavadas has recommended that Atakora Bonsu, currently residing in India, be granted permanent residency. If you're in need of a place to stay, I can hardly neglect to offer you an invitation. It would be shameful for me to, following such magnificent correspondence, fail to pursue your talents further. He's a jingoist aligned with the Bajralaks. I don't love that. We can hardly ask for a more esteemed investment, stronger Bajralaks, and he joins the country, or his decision-making is questionable, Bajralaks a little salty. I can deal with the Bajralaks being salty. I don't want to bring him in. So what else do we... A reactionary movement. Interesting. So this, I think, is new, at least since I last checked. They're pressuring all the interest groups outside the government, but only one within. The Riots. What do they want? They want migration controls. They want to get rid of multiculturalism. And they're okay with the presidential republic, but they prefer a monarchy or a theocracy. That's interesting. If I get a reactionary rebellion, then that'll be a curious and interesting situation. So are there any other things I want to change? I think the next thing I want to change is go to public health insurance. Industrialists are going to be big mad, but it's something they'll have to deal with because we're going forward. So let me see. Private health insurance is reduced bureaucracy cost of healthcare system, and public is increased. So this is increased standard of living for the upper strata. This is global increased standard of living, which is really, really strong. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that button, and we're going to get started. Healthcare is already at level 4. It'll have the ability to get to level 5. So let me just quickly do some math here. If we're at level 4 and each level of bureaucracy costs 3,200, we're getting a 40% reduction. We'll round off to 3,000 just for the sake of simplicity. So that's 12,000. That's really 13,000 if we're rounding real nice. Subtract 40%. That's gonna be 4,000 plus like 1,200. So we're gonna need a little bit more government admin before we get there. Obviously, this should go. I'm hoping this goes reasonably quickly. Advanced chance and success chance are pretty high, or over 50% combined, so it shouldn't be a problem. So let's see. Got ourselves a 13th Indian Army. Let's go ahead and transfer those to the Khalsa Army. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at where we could use some more government admin. We could certainly use some in Punjab, but first, spread thin. The limited political resources of... Oh, this is very good. The limited political resources of the industrialists have made the group's leadership question its membership in both the Indian-British Association and the Anti-Russian Association. And for office supplies, on average, the auditor turned a page to the relevant entry and then ran his eyes down the column, 300 crowns per month. For the men who sat across from him, the world was beginning to spin. You're certain? And 1,200 for work-related travel expenses. Excuse me, he managed. Could I have a copy of the manifest? I need to meet with my colleagues at once. So, I get to make them either weaker or make them abandon one of these things. I think there's no reason for them to remain in the Indian-British Association. When I hit that button, they're going to leave that lobby, and that's going to make them a lot happier. I don't know why I'm scrolling up and down like it's on this tab. Not that much happier, but happier. Alright, so the Indian-British Association is disbanded. That is just wonderful. Alright, and once again, I was looking at states where I could use some extra bureaucracy. So Punjab, Basically, I'm going to round up to round numbers is what I'm going to do in any place where we're close. Where we're close or we're negative. Goodness, Baluchistan really needs... I really need to develop Baluchistan. I'm going to throw a little bit more infrastructure in Punjab as well, because it's a little bit low on infrastructure. We got a lot of countries, a lot of states that are pretty close. I think we're going to put a few more in northern Sirkars, a few more in Rajputana, just a couple. Round up in Pashtunistan, Orissa, Malwa, the ceded districts, Bundelkhand, and we already queued in Baluchistan, and maybe a few more in Sindh as well. And that should be just fine. That should be a completely reasonable amount of bureaucracy. All right. And the princely state system is finally put an end to. So, reaching is damaging relations. Well, China, why would you do this? We're friends. We should be friends. So, if I try to annex Shan, Burma, Chiang Mai, and Dainam will all fight. Of the other world powers, very few would get involved. This will be 4.8 infamy. So yes, I think this is the right call. So let's do it. Alright, so that puts borders there, there, and there. So Chiang Mai, Luang Prabang is held, but Chiang Mai is there. So, first, I'm going to grab the rest of Pegu, Arakan, Sagaing, and my own side of the Shan States. Throw those in there. Conquer Sagaing. Conquer Mandalay. Conquer the Burmese Shan States. I can do that for Luang Prabang. Can I do it for Siam? Oh wait, no, that's not what I want to do. No, I want to take the Burmese Shan States myself. Conquer Arakan. Conquer Pegu. So that's all of Burma. Now I've got a few more maneuvers here. So I think I'm going to reduce Vietnamese autonomy. Do I have enough maneuvers for that? I do, just barely. So if I do this, that is going to leave Chiang Mai unconquered. So actually, I'm going to leave Vietnamese autonomy where it is, and I'm going to conquer Chiang Mai for Siam. And that's just going to be where we're going to wind up. And that's a tiny, and all those are a relatively tiny amount of infamy. So, I'm going to need some forces here. Let's not half-ass this one as much. So I'm going to put the Central Indian Army here. I'm going to put the Khalsa Army here. From Siam, and then I'll put the defense forces on the front with Burma, and I think that should allow me to do everything I wish to do. And more. And it's going to cost me a little cash, but that's okay. And maybe after that I'll chill, or maybe I won't. Lots going on. I no longer need to be improving relations with Burma, because they're going to be no more. Ditto for Chiang Mai and Shan. So I can get a little bit more influence over there. Hopefully gets a little bit of extra infamy decay. Not enough healthcare. Due to a shortage of public healthcare services, citizens around the nation who cannot afford their own medical care have begun demanding more accessible and available healthcare. Have you spent a day harvesting crops or mining stone? I thought not. It's hard and backbreaking work, and occasionally accidents happen. We want assurances that if we are injured, we can be taken care of. We have families to support. If we're badly hurt and can't recover, how can we take care of them? Free up some bureaucracy, extra bureaucracy, increase enactment success chance, or focus on passing the law, extra enactment success chance. I'm wall-to-wall floor-to-ceiling bureaucracy at this stage. It's not really imposing a meaningful cost, in my opinion. So, I think we'll focus on passing the law. Getting up to 45% is a really rock-solid percentage. Feeling overall I can definitely do. I can definitely experience success in the enactment zone. Alright. First comparison for all these fronts is looking rock solid. Dynam have some armies coming around over here. Again, I don't really wish to conquer Dynam. I think Siam and Dynam can both be free states, but if I recall correctly, Burma does become historically part of the British Raj, so that's why I'm taking that territory. No one seems interested in stepping in, so I'm just going to grab everything that I wish to grab. Oh, interesting. Turkey has become a republic. Oh, look at that flag. That's a pretty cool flag. Ah, they have a radical socialist movement. Yeah, a parliamentary autocracy. Very interesting. That's interesting, that's for sure. Socialist revolt in Ethiopia. That's also interesting. I should potentially get involved. Alright, so relations are improving. Obviously, China's unhappy with me because I'm doing a bunch of aggression right in their backyard. Excellent. We're in study. But I think it'll be fine. I think they'll get over it. Almost done with all these power block statues. That's going to give me a pile of extra influence. Not that much extra influence, but, a little bit. Yeah, there you go. A little bit of extra influence, a little bit of extra prestige. Getting cheaper decrees is not that useful, but it's just kind of fun. Alright. There's the war kicking off. Let's take a quick look at these battles, make sure we're good to go. Yep. These seem just fine. Let's get a visual to one of them. Yeah, look at all that. Kind of muffled, I think. Yeah, I think now that we're in squad infantry, it's the sound of kind of distant artillery. Tiv people from British Niger. West African heritage. Interesting. Alright. Very nice. Alright, we've got a hold of Sagaing. Or very nearly got a hold of Sagaing. And by very nearly, I mean half. I'm overstating how well I'm doing. Let me see. We've got a little bit of occupation in Tonkin. A lot of progressive voting. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, this is going to go real fast. Well, goodness. I'm glad I queued in all that extra bureaucracy. I think 5,600 is going to be enough. There's the usual event. New neighbors, new grudges. So this is about the Sumatran people settled in ceded districts. I'm going to say they'll accept their lot. It's going to give us a bunch more loyalists among the upper classes, which should hopefully be influencing our industrialists to relax a little bit. They're in high appeasement of political lobbies. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, there's a communist revolt happening in Afghanistan, and it's winning. Amazing. That's wonderful. Long Prabang is in default, but I'm not too concerned about that, all things considered. We seem to have some frontage issues, but... Okay, so what I need is this army to go over here. I don't think this is going to be a long-term issue, but if it becomes a long-term issue, I'll need to be careful. These fronts have merged, so these armies are going around here. I see. I see how it goes. We got a hold of all of Burma, so we'll have hold of all of Chiang Mai and Shan. Oh, and all of Dainam's ours. Alright, so this war will be done actually really, really soon. Once we got fully control of the Burmese Shan States and of the Shan States proper. How do we have negative how do they have negative... Oh, haha, because different occupation in both areas. Alright, beautiful. Popular playwright endorses reform. In the midst of the debate surrounding public health insurance, one of the country's leading playwrights, strongly associated with the trade unions, has staged a widely acclaimed play whose politically laden theme makes no secret of the author's desire for the law to be passed. The man's viewpoints may be somewhat partisan, but sir, you cannot argue with his prose. I'm going to say this sure puts the trade unions in a good light. I think I've got plenty of enactment chance here. Although no reason not to get more. I don't really need stronger trade unions at the moment. Alright. So Chiang Mai has now been incorporated into Siam. And Burma has been fully incorporated into the Raj. Alright, so obviously we're having market access issues. Let's go ahead and reset production methods. Anti-British Association demands action. Anti-British Association requests that we establish an embargo against Great Britain. Successfully enacting on the proposal will gain our government significant goodwill from the lobby. I don't actually love that. They're very happy right now. And to those who would refuse and prefer preserving the status quo, there was no hesitation. His response sounded well-rehearsed because it was. This is a proactive man, one who spent hours pacing his chambers and anticipating attacks to come. My reply would be that we should never have allowed them to become so close to us in the first place. A friendship built upon deceit is nothing at all, and the goodwill gained from it illusory. This is not in our interests. It's going to make them mad, but that's fine. So let me make sure I successfully hit the incorporate button for all of these states. I sure did. Now we'll reset production methods. Bam, 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 bam. We have here softwood production. Okay. Oh, bundle pond needs to be reset and agro as well. Alright, beautiful. So now market access. Sagaing is good. Mandalay is good. Arakan is good. Pega's obviously fine. Shan States need a bunch more. Hey, come back here. Need a bunch more bureaucracy. Also short on taxation capacity in some of these areas. Will be better later. Shan States has a starvation issue, but it's a small one. Let's go ahead and build 5 government admins here. Oh my goodness. The reactionary movement has become revolutionary. Well, that's interesting. They're going to take quite a bit of territory, actually. They're only 76% militant, though, and I think I can get public health care done soon. So I'm going to not worry about it. I'm just going to go ahead and not worry about it. So, Shan States has starvation. Let's put a few more rice farms in the area. Mandalay, any starvation here? No. Pegu, no. Arakan, no. Got a lot of turmoil in these areas, though, I must say. Let's hit this event and see what happens. Students rally to the reactionary movement. A group of students attending university in Rajputana have arranged a demonstration in support of the reactionary movement. The displays inspired other students to join the cause. The lecture hall was barren. There were always 1 or 2 students missing for illnesses, travel, or family occasions, but nothing of this scale. There were 3 or 4 students per row, each thrown into sharp contrast by the empty seats to their sides. It was material for a lecture of its own, he thought, like a heap of sand whose grains had blown away one after another until its form suddenly changed. So followed what had once been a class. The youth will lead India into the future, reduce university throughput, extra universal pop strength, stronger reactionary movement, or they ought to focus on their studies. Half that, 5% of academics in Rajputana become more radical, but no increase in the strength of the movement. I'm going to do the second one. This is a revolutionary reactionary movement, and I don't want them getting stronger. Construction is going fine at the moment. I am going to need a little bit more government sectors, though, so let's go ahead and build up some levels in Delhi. We'll go up to 30 in Delhi, and that'll be just fine in terms of the number that we need. Infrastructure is absolutely fine. From a tech perspective, yeah, we're heading towards electric railways, which I do desperately need. I should work on electrifying the country, but there's a lot of math involved in that. Even so, could be useful. But I'm focusing on this for now. Come on, give me public health insurance. Not yet. The art of doing nothing. Though previously opposed to public health insurance laws, Mohandas Gandhi has considered the trade union's political position and instead offers support. While speaking with constituents on matters of law, one must first master the art of appearing to do nothing. While you do everything behind whispers and masked men? Indubitably. Welcome their support. Stronger trade unions, stronger intelligentsia, increased enactment chance. Alright, how much longer on this? Another 62 days. We'll see if we can get there. I got a lot of infamy, so I'm going to be dialing it back for now. In terms of radicals, I got a lot of radicals conquering this area, but it should be fine. On the other hand, I really do want to fight Great Britain. Oh, interesting. The communists lost Afghanistan. They were doing so well, and Britain doesn't have any access here. Ooh, membership lists discovered. A surprise police raid has discovered a list of radicals associated with the industrialists. There are several ways this list can be used to the government's advantage. They came for us too quickly. We didn't have time to hide everything. Well, thanks to that, now we need time to hide everyone. Hunt down every member on that list, minus 10% progress, or publicly expose the connections between the industrialists and the radicals, minus 25% political strength. I'm going to go with that second one. That's going to significantly weaken this movement, and maybe, just maybe, get it to weak enough that it's not going to be rebellious at all. This rebellion progress is pretty low. Java sides with the Netherlands. What are you doing? Ah, because Java is a puppet of the... No, they're not. Weird. Weird. Not sure what that's about. Can I still seal states off of a set without getting any infamy? Yeah, maybe that was a bug. What about Jambi? Can I steal Jambi? No. It'll be a tiny amount of infamy. It's not that much, but it's worth it. Riots petition government. Representing his constituents in the Riots, Amrit Lal Thakar has issued a formal petition to the Indian government to pass regulatory bodies. Oh, one last matter for the day, sir. Members of your constituency arrived this morning. They're asking rather loudly and insistently if you would meet with them about new legislation. Well, is that it? Goodness, you seem as if you see a ghost. I'm sure I can spare the last hours of the life for them, can't I? I believe so, sir. They weren't taking no for an answer. We'll see what we can do as the regulatory... So regulatory bodies is just reduced mortality, right? Yes. Offer them wage subsidies as a compromise. So this is welfare, or they must understand we can't do it. I'm going to say we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do regulatory bodies. A reasonable advance for this period in the game. We may end up timing them out because the industrialists are big salty, but the industrialists are pretty weak at this point. So I may not actually end up needing to do that. I am going to build myself some more power plants, I think. I think I'm a little short on power. I need to mechanize slaughterhouses, theoretically. Let's do intensive wool gathering. That seems better. Hey, you said it was going to be better. Bastards. Stupid tooltip. Taking my jobs. Oh, right. I should be looking at, like, resources and stuff. How's my market? I'm pulling in a lot of sulfur from abroad that I probably don't need to be. Are our sulfur mines in Borneo fully employed? They are. Alright, so that's fine. Discord within the Riots. An influential faction within the Riots has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of public health insurance. Themselves in favor of the law, they've now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. How can you stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor, of duty to your fellow man? I say nay to such lack of ambition. And I dare say I am not alone in this. With their support, the bill shall pass. 15% enactment chance, Riots slightly weaker. Or the trade unions extend an open hand to these mavericks. Only 10% enactment chance, but trade unions significantly stronger, Riots significantly weaker. I'm going to go with the second one. 5% enactment chance doesn't matter that much to me in public health insurance, but getting stronger trade unions and weaker Riots is actually useful in the long term. So... not quite sure why that icon is there twice, but it is what it is. Let's build up some power plants, shall we? It's going to take a moment. Let me see. Let's build a few more. I need infrastructure. Hold up. Hold up. I don't need power plants. I need railways. Did I pass them again? I think I passed them. Where's railways? Here we are. Alright. We need a lot here. Gosh, that's curious. Wonder why that happened. I've seen them building ones in the Shan States already. Fort in a sea of anger. The mobs have surrounded an arsenal in Karnataka, threatening to seize the arms and munitions stored within. While the guards are staving off attacks for now, if no relief is sent, then the arsenal will fall to the insurrectionists. I couldn't sleep last night. The commander refuses to accept terms, and firing continues from both the arsenal and the emplacements that now surround it. After one large blast, I sprang out of bed and went to my knees to pray. Pray as I'd never prayed before. A relief column could escalate tensions, but it's necessary. So both of these have an equal... They spread the chances across different options, but both of these have an equal chance of increasing or decreasing the Civil War progress. This one radicalizes servicemen, or the second one, the mob could be emboldened by a surrender, but we need to take that risk. This radicalizes officers. I'm preferring to radicalize officers than servicemen right now, so I'm going to do the second one. And that's just going to kind of be what it is. I'm really hoping we can finish out with public health insurance before the end of the episode. We're a little bit over time here, but I really want to get public health insurance finished. And we'll see how the industrialists react. The industrialists are currently very upset from a bunch of different changes that we've done, but if we give them a couple of years to cool off before we start working on regulatory bodies, I think they'll be just fine, actually. If we're being honest with ourselves. Obviously, in the international affairs side of things, I'm chilling out because I've got a lot of info right now. There's electrical capacitors. That's wonderful. So, that's going to be of help in the medium term, improving our electrical, improving our infrastructure, because our trains are going to need it. Obviously, I say as I'm producing more railways, but it's still going to be useful. It's going to make them cheaper to run as well, which may be useful because I'm paying quite a bit in subsidies. The mob approaches. Belligerent crowds begin getting increasingly provocative when confronted by troops sent to Nasseran. Hardliners and government are demanding tougher responses, while doves are calling for troops to stand down as the first hopeful step in de-escalation. A whiff of grape shot saved the day once, and it can be done again. I'm telling you, what we need is to show strength. Strength? Ha! Bullets are an admission of weakness. We need to talk, show them that we're not afraid. That's how we'll get them. Disperse the crowds by force. 50% chance of radicals, 50% chance of reduced Civil War progress. We'll order the troops to stand down, 50% chance of loyalists, 50% chance of increased Civil War progress. I'm going to do the second one. I'd love a chance to get some loyalists. Okay, that didn't work. Shabamzo. There's public health insurance. Wonderful. And that means... okay, we're doing just fine for bureaucracy. That's alright. You know, it's been a long game. I think I might be about to put government wages up to Midland. That's such a large increase, though. Increase in costs. I'm gonna do it. I don't need to be building all the time, and I've got a huge reserve of cash. What's my maximum gold reserve? 136 million. So, it's actually fine. This revolution's still brewing, but hopefully they'll be able to dial it back in good time. We got a bunch of loyalists out that. Legislation imposed on Dainam refused. They've refused our demand to enact universal suffrage. The ambassador returns, bearing news of the rejection. They shows pride of our progress, he reports. The silence that follows lies heavy in the council chamber. How ought we react to such insubordination? Perhaps a bit of regime change. Perhaps a bit of regime change. But whatever we decide to do, that will be for next episode, because this is the end of the current episode. Yeah, we finally achieved. I believe these are more or less the, aside from some stuff up here, these are more or less the historical borders of the British Raj. You know, certain parts of it aside. But we're still, you know, we're basically there. So, I've had a good time. I hope you had a good time, and I will see you on the other side.